Hey guys, what's going on? It's Lower Symbol here. And, well, this is a rather early episode, I guess I could say, but we're back for a long time coming of the Nashua Insomniac. Now, it's not late night, it's in the evening,
So I know
obviously,
it's
if you're
crazy,
watching this
but I was
live.
thinking of leaking a
But,
video.
first off, I just wanted to get some stuff off my chest. Been going through a little bit of stuff lately. That's why I haven't been active on YouTube much in the last couple months. I've been being spread pretty thin between work and dealing with some people around me who've been pretty sick. My health hasn't been that great myself, but you know, I guess we're kind of taking it one step at a time. I guess it's the best thing to say. I don't know, but either way, we'll figure things out. Uh, kind of, like I said, just taking it one step at a time. But I will try to become more active for you guys that are out there. Um, my next big goal is gonna try to get to 100 subscribers. Probably not gonna happen before the end of the year, but if I could pull that off somehow within like the next 3 months, that'd be pretty awesome. So I'm gonna get some more content out there for you guys soon. I'm working on getting some new equipment so I can switch my videos up a little bit. So that'll definitely be around the corner. But to everyone out there that's been sticking with me, the subscribers that I have, I just wanted to say thank you for your patience. For uh, being, just here, just sticking around. I appreciate it. But like I said, there will be some new content going, and I'm gonna try to get to at least 100 subscribers. I'm not quite sure when I'm gonna get there, but hey, if it happens, that'll be pretty cool. Well, it will happen, but you know what I mean, if it happens soon. So, with that being said, let's get started on today's subjects. Alright, got that stupid shit out the way. That audio was probably horrible, but that's part of the new equipment that's on the way. Now, my first subject on tonight's episode was Colin Kaepernick. I had a friend on Facebook ask a pretty interesting question, just as a poll. He was wondering. Now, his question on his poll, I'm not gonna drop his name or anything, but he asked, "What if Kaepernick would have kneeled for something like animal abuse or feed the homeless?" And he asked, "Do you think would he have gotten blackballed the way he did, basically?" And I kind of sat back and thought about that. Like, this whole subject with Kaepernick has been an interesting run. It's been a few years since that whole Colin Kaepernick incident happened. So it's kind of hard to say. I mean, the world, well, not, I won't say the world because I don't think the whole world's getting dragged into it, but the United States and like how we view things in the United States has definitely changed since then. So personally, I feel like yes and no. He probably still would have gotten criticized for kneeling, definitely because, let me put it this way. Colin Kaepernick, from what he has said, the reason he kneeled during the national anthem was protesting, what you call it, violence from police officers against African Americans. Now, with that being said, he basically was trying to, he came out and said he's not showing any disrespect to, the veterans, the people who are serving in the United States military right now. Nobody who's you know, being active, not even just the active service, like veterans in general, anybody who has served or is serving, he, you know, tried explaining that and explained that why he was kneeling during the flag. But I feel like the media and people who were against him kind of twisted and warped it into, oh, he's kneeling during the flag, you know, that's disrespectful to our veterans, which, like, I can kind of see from their point of view why they feel like that would be disrespectful, but at the same time, that's not his intention, so I feel like it shouldn't be twisted into that. You know what I mean? Like, I can't speak for him because, you know, I've never met the guy. I don't know the guy personally, and I'd be surprised at anyone who did outside of the NFL as somebody who's his, you know, like, friend or family. But yeah, that was something I wanted to speak on. I saw my friend say something about that earlier, and I kind of sat back and gave that some thought. And it's kind of a yes and no thing from me. I feel like they would still speak out about him, you know, kneeling during the anthem. But, you know, I feel like if it was a different cause, it might not have been as scowled upon because of the whole racial sensitivity thing that's going on between, well, not sensitivity, racial tension, I should say, between, you know, African Americans and the police and the United States with this whole thing with police brutality going on. But let's get off that subject. I wanted to get to subject number 2. I'm been really bad about doing really long shows, so I'm gonna try to keep these shows between 15 and 30 minutes. This is looking like it's gonna be about a 20-minute show, so bear with me, guys. Thank you. Second off, I wanted to get to something that occurred this past week, which was Myles, Garrett, and Mason Rudolph fighting in the Browns and Steelers game. Now, I didn't watch the game live, but I did go back and kind of try to catch a clip of it because as you could tell by the title, I don't live in Ohio currently. I live in Nashua, but I'm from Ohio, so, you know, naturally I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, so I do kind of keep up with them in a way. But what happened was, I guess, Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph got into kind of a scrap. And going back and watching the footage, from my point of view, I feel like Rudolph definitely started the fight between the two of them. But at the same time, I do feel like Garrett kind of hitting Rudolph with his fucking helmet was a little off chain. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand being angry and like being in the heat of a moment of a situation, but like hitting someone with the helmet, you know, that could potentially be lethal. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That whole situation is kind of funky to me. Like, the thing that kind of boiled people's blood was the fact that Myles Garrett got suspended for the rest of the season, but Mason Rudolph ended up only paying just a fine, which to me is pretty messed up. Like, okay, he got a fine, but what about what about Mason Rudolph? He, you know, it's pretty obvious from the footage. I mean, I could be wrong. You know, maybe I'm not analyzing the footage correctly, but from what I saw, Mason Rudolph kind of instigated the fight. I mean, he did hit Myles Garrett in his genitals. He did, you know, choke him and shit like that, and then his other teammates, you know, kicking him in the head and shit like that. But I feel like if you were going to punish one of them, which definitely should have been done, they should have punished, you know, both of them. You know, they were both wrong in the situation at the end of the day, and I kind of feel like that was a little fucked up that Garrett got suspended, but, you know, Myles or Mason Rudolph only ended up paying a fine. And I'm kind of seeing, well, I haven't seen much of it today, but I'm seeing on social media that that's sparking outrage, especially from Clevelanders. You know, they are speaking out against that. They're like, you know, why this guy who kind of looks like he started the fight, avoid, you know, suspension. Like, if you were going to suspend one of them, suspend both of them, which I do agree with that. Suspend them both. But, you know, guys, I'm surprised that this hasn't had any, how can I put it, any kind of racial tension tied to that. I mean, maybe it has that I haven't seen, because, you know, one of the guys is white and the other guy is black. But at this point, it's still early. You know, the game was just a couple days ago, so things change. Who knows what could happen in the next couple days. Maybe they'll go through and decide to, how can I put this, not lighten anybody's punishment, but kind of like go through and reanalyze the situation and see if they can come up with a new decision for both of them. I don't know. Maybe, you know, I'm not sure. Maybe that whole thing is set in stone and they're deciding not to deal with either of them. Or maybe, you know, the whole thing with him just with Rudolph only just getting a fine is final. You know what I'm saying? But it's a fucked up situation. I do agree that Myles Garrett should have been suspended for hitting him with his own helmet, but at the same time, I feel like Mason Rudolph definitely should have been suspended. That's my take on that, personally. So let's move on from that, and let's get on to subject number 3, which is something that's been going crazy all week. I believe this dropped, I want to say, was it Tuesday or Wednesday? I don't quite remember. But Disney Plus finally made its long-anticipated debut earlier this week. I'm trying to think of what day it dropped on. I think it may have been...
Get lost, okay? Hey, you holding my friend against his will?
I'm trying to think. I'm not quite sure what day it dropped on, but there's been a lot of commotion with Disney Plus too. Well, one thing I've noticed is that the first thing I did when I got into Disney Plus is that I went straight for X-Men. You know, I grew up watching that show. I never really watched it in order. I kind of watched the different episodes as they appeared on TV as reruns when I was growing up. And I did watch through it once before while it was on Hulu, but this was a few years back while the whole series was on Hulu, and this is while I was still living in Ohio. So it's been a while since I watched the show, but personally, one thing I've noticed, and I've heard people complaining about it too, is that I don't know if it's just X-Men or if this is other shows, but I've noticed it with X-Men that a lot of the episodes are out of order, which is, I thought was kind of odd. I don't know if this was just a bug, because, you know, the, what you call it, the thing is just now like launching, but I feel like that's something that definitely needs to get fixed, like, especially something with X-Men, like, those episodes aren't just random, you know, they tell a story. Like, I'm season 4 right now. Season 3, I noticed after the original Phoenix Saga, after the finale of that, when the Phoenix seals the can in the M-Cron crystal and takes it out into space, there are a couple episodes between that and the Dark Phoenix Saga. And I noticed, first of all, the Dark Phoenix Saga, it doesn't start off, the Dark Phoenix Saga, first of all, is 4 episodes. It's a 4-part, like, I'll call it a mini-series, basically. The episodes don't start off, like, linear, you know what I'm saying, guys? Like, the episode starts off with part 2. I forget which episode it follows, but I noticed part 2 pops up first, and I'm like, huh, that's odd, and then I believe there's an episode between part 4 and then there's part 1 that pops up after that. So I was wondering, like, why is this out of order? And then I noticed an episode of season 4 appeared in season 3 on the Plus lineup. So that's definitely something I think needs to get looked at. Personally, other than that, I'm not complaining much about Disney Plus. I mean, I want it mainly for my Marvel shows. There are, you know, Disney Pixar movies I will be going on there or watching. Other than that, I think the service is great. I do recommend it. I know if you have premium Hulu, what is it, Hulu Plus or Hulu Premium, you can get Disney Plus and ESPN Plus for free. But what was I gonna say? Sorry, I had a brain fart. I'm kind of bouncing between playing the game and talking to you guys. But like I was saying, that definitely needs to get looked at with the episodes not being in order in certain shows. Like I said, I'm not sure if it's just X-Men or if it's other shows. But other than that, like I said, that's my only complaint about the service so far. I am enjoying it. It's pretty easy to use, and from what I'm seeing, the library that they have for that streaming service is pretty large itself. I would really like for them, just because I kind of went through and scrolled through to see what Marvel shows they had. Yeah, I know I'm a fucking crazy Marvel nerd. Don't hate me for it. What I was gonna say was I really do hope they, you know, go through and complete some of the shows and like kind of fix the order of everything. I hope that's not set in stone or that's not gonna be permanent with the episodes being out of order. Cause I'm a linear show kind of guy. I like to watch my shit in order. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if there's anybody who likes to watch stuff out in order unless they like to skip certain things. But you know, if you do, that's on you. You know, no judgment here. So, you know, I do, with that being said, I do recommend Disney Plus. I give it an honest 7 out of 10 right now. But I would, how can I put this? I would proceed with caution definitely when it came to it. So, we are 17 minutes in. If I could get this down to under 25 minutes, I think that will wrap it up for an episode. But let's keep moving. Now, the last subject I wanted to talk about, and this is going to be kind of controversial, but this is something I've wanted to do for a few weeks now because I've kind of been analyzing both shows, and it's this whole AEW All Elite Wrestling versus WWE. Now, I have nothing against either promotion. I think personally, the last few weeks, I've seen great matches from both promotions. AEW has been on fire with matches. Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega from, what was that, AEW Full Gear? The Full Gear pay-per-view that was last weekend. Now, despite as violent as it was, I thought the match was great. I love violence. I'm an old school ECW fan. So, personally, I thought, as far as being violent, that match was pretty tame, but was still violent in its own aspect. Now, as far as WWE, my only complaints have been SmackDown and Raw. Well, how can I put this? They've gotten better with matches, but there's still stuff they kind of need to work on, I guess I could say. The thing is with SmackDown and Raw is that I feel like they're good in their own sense, but people kind of, how can I put this? People kind of jump on the bandwagon when it comes to hating on SmackDown and Raw. You know what I'm saying? Like, the matches aren't 5-star matches, you know, and I could say the same about All Elite Wrestling too. Like, the matches aren't always, you know, 5-star. They're not always those type of matches that make you want to jump out of your seat. But I feel like, and this can be said about All Elite Wrestling too, is that people are kind of jumping on the bandwagon when it comes to hating both shows. I feel like they kind of let other people dictate their opinion, and they kind of let other people influence what they have to say about All Elite Wrestling and WWE. You know, they've both been good in their own sense. I feel like if anything stands out with WWE right now, it's NXT. I believe it was last Friday, I want to say. NXT took, or was it the Friday before? I don't quite remember, but NXT kind of took SmackDown under siege, and they had a couple good matches that night. They had what was it, Rhea Ripley and Tegan Knox, I believe, who has recently returned from injury, take on Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. And while that wasn't the greatest match, I do kind of feel like it was a good showing for Rhea and Tegan to kind of make them look strong, because they're not doing much with Mandy and Sonya right now, so I feel like that didn't really hurt them to take a loss to two NXT talent, but it made Rhea and Tegan look good going over those main roster people, you know what I'm saying? And with the same thing that night, they had Keith Lee and Matt Riddle attack Sami Zayn. Now, it's kind of sad seeing how good of an NXT run Sami Zayn had to what they're kind of doing with him now. He's kind of, I don't know, playing just like the typical annoying heel. So it's kind of sad to see them descend to that, but, you know, I'm not quite sure what to say about Sami Zayn. I mean, they haven't done a whole lot with him since he came to the main roster, so with Sami Zayn and people like I just mentioned, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, I feel like taking losses like that it does hurt them, but it's not hurting them at the same time. You feel me? As far as the NXT talent, depending on who it is, I feel like taking a loss to someone on the main roster will hurt them. But at the same time, I feel like the internet will kind of make that bigger than what it has to be, because then they'll say, oh, that person on the main roster shouldn't have won to this person on NXT. They're burying them. Fuck Vince McMahon. Why couldn't Triple H just have them win? Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? They're going to make something out of nothing. But Survivor Series is in a couple weeks. Don't know how many weeks away it is to be exact. But the matchups are looking pretty good right now. I'm pretty excited mostly for NXT War Games that's coming that night. We're having the first female War Games that evening with Team Shayna Baszler versus Team Rhea Ripley, which I think is going to be an interesting match. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Shayna Baszler. She's starting to grow on me. But, hey, if her, her last few title defenses, I think, have been pretty good. She's one of those wrestlers I could honestly say I feel like I'll enjoy more as a heel, and I wouldn't like to see them turn face. I mean, I said the same thing about Rhea Ripley, but I'm not quite sure what she's working as right now. I mean, I guess she's a face. I haven't seen like a solid face turn from her, but I mean, hey, I still, you know, I'm a big fan of Rhea Ripley. You know, she was the first ever NXT UK Women's Champion, which kind of surprised me because I kind of thought Toni Storm was going to win the match that she had with Rhea Ripley. But, like I said, I'm more excited for War Games personally. I'm a bigger fan of NXT than the product that's going on the main roster. I feel like, going back to like I was saying earlier, I do feel like that depending on who it is, it won't hurt them as bad to take a loss. You know what I'm saying? As long as they're not doing much. One of the matches I'm looking forward to most at Survivor Series is a triple threat that they're doing. It's Roderick Strong versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus who's United States champion right now? I can't think off the top of my head. But that match I was looking forward to, the triple threat match for like the mid-carders. AJ Styles. I'm sorry. How the fuck did I forget AJ Styles? Forgive me. I'm having brain farts right now. I'm so shitty when it comes to multitasking, but AJ Styles is an amazing worker. Shinsuke Nakamura is a great worker. Roderick Strong is probably one of my favorite NXT talent right now. I feel like he's definitely one of the most criminally underrated NXT talent right now. He has a pretty nice move set. I'm a big fan of his striking ability, like his jumping knee strikes, his chops. His end of heartache, that the vertical suplex dropped into a double knee backbreaker is probably one of my favorite NXT finishers right now. So yeah, Roderick Strong, Shinsuke Nakamura, and AJ Styles are all amazing in their own way. So I do feel like that's going to be a pretty good triple threat match. I would like to see Roderick Strong come out on top. If anybody takes a pin, I feel like it'll be Shinsuke, because I don't think they'll want the Ace, the OC, to have any momentum that gets hurt, and I don't think they want the Undisputed Era to have any hurt momentum. Now, speaking of the Undisputed Era, you guys can drop a comment below if you know what's going on. But what in the hell is going on with the triple threat match that was supposed to be Bray Wyatt versus Adam Cole versus Brock Lesnar? Like, is that, you know, like, still happening? Because, how can I put it? I just saw that they announced Daniel Bryan was going to face, the Fiend Bray Wyatt.
I just want to get home.
And I'm confused as to what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, are they gonna do Adam Cole versus Brock Lesnar? Which, God, I hope they don't do that, because I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan of Brock Lesnar. I mean, Suplex City kind of burned itself out. I mean, well, to the fans, I guess it hasn't, but I'm personally not a fan of Suplex City. But I don't know. I just had mixed feelings about that. I really hope they don't do Adam Cole versus Brock Lesnar, because I don't see Adam Cole winning that match, and I do feel like taking a loss of Brock Lesnar will be kind of shitty of them to do. Excuse me. So we'll see what happens with Survivor Series. I'm not gonna get my hopes up, but hopefully it's a good show. AEW Full Gear was an amazing show. I was a big fan of the tag match from that night. Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega, I still think was the highlight of that night. It's kind of hard to say for sure what was. I'll say this. I'll say Mox and Omega definitely was better than the title match between Chris Jericho and Cody Rhodes. I feel like the ending of that match could have been better. Wish Cody had kind of just taken a pinfall loss or a submission loss instead of having what's that guy's name? Maxwell Jacob Freeman, or however you say his name, throw in the towel for Cody. But either way, you know, both shows in their own right have been on fire. But excuse me, sorry, I keep yawning, guys. But you know, I just feel like both sides are getting hatred for no apparent reason. Like, when it comes to wrestling, when it comes to anything in general, guys, if you want to judge something, get your own opinion of it. You know what I'm saying? Don't let other people's opinions influence what you think. That's kind of what the point I wanted to get to with this whole AEW versus WWE thing. Like I said, I've seen good product from both shows. You know, they're both fucking up in their own ways. But when it comes to which one you think is better, make sure that that's your opinion that you're working with. Not, you know, just because the internet said it's shitty means that you have to think it's shitty. Like, you watch it for yourself. You decide that for yourself. And it's the fucking internet. You know, if you go out there and voice your opinion, at the end of the day, it's your opinion. It might not always be right. It might look bad in some people's eyes, but at the end of the day, that's your way of thinking, and nobody can take that from you. That's your, you know, your freedom of speech as a person. So, with that being said, that's all my topics that I have to cover for tonight on tonight's episode of The Insomniac, which will be episode 4. I'm going to try to get episode 5 out next weekend. The next couple weeks are going to be pretty hectic between work and home with Thanksgiving coming up, so I'm gonna be spread pretty thin. But trust me, I will be back to do another live stream and get some more shit covered with you guys. So I haven't had any viewers tune in this live stream, but to those people who view it while I'm recording this in the future, thanks in advance for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Like I said, new content will be coming out, so thanks again, guys, for being patient, and I love you guys. Take it easy out there. Keep working hard, keep going for your dreams. If you're out there saving up for something or working towards some goal, just keep working. Take it, even if you can't take a giant leap towards something you want to get, take baby steps. As long as you're getting there, that's all that matters. Well, like I said, I'm gonna end this right now. Now that we're a little over 30 minutes. So take care, guys, and good night.